Welcome to QMB 2100. You have found me. I am Mark Dumbledore. You found me with a video right here that I'm making and it's been posted. And the intention of this video is to tell you everything you want to know about the class. Go through the syllabus, give you a tour of Canvas, and get you prepared for the semester. You may have, as I click back over here, you may have done some pre-semester work where I gave you a brief introduction and talked about some project data that I'll be mentioning in a bit. If so, that's great. If not, no worries. You can do that this week and get you started. So let me go back to the syllabus. And rather than click on this link here, I've opened it up in Word and it'll tend to be a little bit easier to see in this format. Again, my name is Mark Dumbledore. I've been at USF now. This is my 34th year, so I've been doing this a bit. And for the majority of that time, I've been teaching mainly QMB 2100, both in a live and in online classes, and then also QMB 3200, the Stat 2 class. I teach that sometimes over the summer. I'm going to have some office hours this semester on Microsoft Teams, and it's going to be Thursdays from 7:30 to 8 p.m. However, I will stay later if students are there. If students aren't there at 8 o'clock, I will leave, but I will also be online from 7 to 8 p.m. Sunday evenings when projects are due, and you'll see some due dates in a bit. So that's when I'm going to be online. I also have some graduate assistants and some teaching assistants that will be online at other times. I'll talk about that in a bit. My email, mdumbledore@usf.edu. Please don't email me with questions about the class material. This is for, hey, I'm out of the country. I just got an email from somebody who is having to go to the U.S. Embassy in his home country, and those are questions I want to get in emails. If you have questions about the material of the class, the office hours are a great place to ask those. I'll show you some discussion boards in a little bit that are another good place for that. All online office hours are going to be held in Teams, and I've been setting up the link, and actually it's Thursday, August 18th, and Canvas is giving me some pushback with the links right now, but hopefully by the beginning of the semester I will have that all sorted out and you will have access to the office hours, and you will be part of one big happy MS Teams team for us this semester. COVID-19 procedures, it's still around. I think we should start calling it COVID-22, but anyway, be careful. I know we're not meeting online, or I'm sorry, we're not meeting in class, we are meeting online, and we don't have any set meeting time, so there's really, it doesn't apply a whole lot to this class, but the USF wants us to say something about COVID-19 in the syllabus, so there you go. My lectures have already been recorded. They're going to be open to you in batches, what I call modules. There's 4 modules for the semester, and I'll take you through that in a second. Any of the things you got to do for me, competency checks, which are quizzes, projects, exams, any of those things should be done after watching the lecture videos. If you skip the lecture videos, there's a good chance you're not going to do too well on the quizzes or the projects that I assigned. So watch all the videos, and I'll show you how it's set up in a little bit. My quizzes, which are done through Canvas, and the exams, which are going to be done through Canvas. A lot of those are multiple choice, true, false. I have some different ways that I ask questions. I currently, for the first exam, will not require any kind of online proctoring, but I might. So you need to be prepared for that. So you need to have all the equipment that you need in order to, I think we use HonorLock now. It used to be Proctorio. You need to be prepared for that. If I find a need that we need to move in that direction, I will. So just get prepared now. Make sure you have the webcam, make sure you have the microphone, make sure you have everything you need so that if I require that, you're ready to go. And I'll talk more about that later in the semester if need be. The text for the semester, we're using the 14th edition of the Statistics for Business and Economics textbook. You can rent it, you can buy it, you can get it in a variety of forms. Please get the 14th edition because all the references I make to it will be for the 14th edition. All homework problems, any kind of sections I mentioned, everything's going to be for the 14th edition, and things change from one edition to the next. If you're going to take QMB 3200 from the Tampa campus, it's the same textbook we use, and a vast majority of you guys will be taking it. Kim Johnson's the person who teaches it currently. That will be the textbook that we use for that. There's a solutions manual that's optional. I'm going to give you the solutions to the problems I want you to take a look at, so you don't need to get that text from me. However, if it's something you want, go ahead and grab it. You will be using the statistics software. And if you have a PC, you can purchase it. I think the bookstore allows you to purchase it. I think it's less than $15, and you can load it on your PC. If you have a Mac, you don't have that option, but the vast majority of students, whether you're PC or Mac student, we'll be using it on the application gateway, and I will show you I have some demonstration videos how you do that. Course objective and purpose. There's a catalog description, the purpose of the course. I'm going to teach you stats. I'm going to give you the introductory material that we're going to use in this class, and then you'll also run with in your Stat 2 class. Some learning goals. This counts as one of your Foundations of Knowledge and Learning core curriculum courses. It counts as the quantitative reasoning. So I had to list some learning goals. So you can go through this. I'm not really interested in going through that with you. Some good reading there. It's just talking about some of the things we're going to do. What I want to talk to you guys about is the policy. What's expected of you. There are 4, as I mentioned, learning modules that have to be completed within a specified time period. There's a little bit of flexibility in this online class. You can do it at your own pace to a point. The first module goes through September 10th. So if you want to wait till September 9th to get started, you can do that. I'm going to strongly recommend you don't. But you have that flexibility in the online class. The students who do well in this class start early. They've probably already looked at the pre-semester information. They already have their project data. The students that struggle are the ones that wait till the end. What you're going to be responsible for are 3 different things. Competency checks. And in order to show you this, let me click over into Canvas and show you what the site looks like, and I'll kind of walk you through it. So there's some welcome material that I will be opening up. It's already open by the time you're watching this video, and I'll talk about a couple of these things in a bit. But this is what the modules look like. Module 1 begins the first day of class, August 22nd, and it runs through September 10th. At the top of each learning module is going to be a discussion board. This is where I want you to ask questions about the class. If you're curious about the difference between means and medians, for instance, post a question there. I'll check this daily. I'll go in there and answer the questions that I get in the discussion board. So emails are for personal things. Office hours and discussion boards are for material related to the class. Questions that not only you have, someone else may have. If you're having some kind of travel issues, that's personal to you. If you have a question about the mean and the median, that's something everyone else might have as well. Then there are different parts. This first module has really 4 parts. Within each part, and I'm going to go into part 3 here because it's one of the longer parts. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is, part 3. So I'll go on that tab. There are notes that are going to be listed at the top, PowerPoint notes. And then there are videos, and this is one of the longer modules where I have 5 videos in this particular module, where I'll go through and teach the material that is contained in the notes. The videos, I tend to try to keep them between 10 and 30 minutes-ish. I may vary from that a little bit. But I'll go through each of the parts of the lecture notes with you. The notes that I give you are not complete notes. There's some fill-in-the-blank material. I'm going to recommend strongly that when you're watching the videos, just watch the videos. Don't watch the videos and also be on Pinterest, or don't watch the videos and also be playing a video game. If you multitask, you don't really do either of those tasks well, in my opinion. So focus on the material. When you're going to do your statistics work, focus on statistics, nothing else. Get to a quiet environment and just focus on that, and that should do well. You should do well if you treat it that way. So you're going to go through the videos, you're going to fill in the notes, you're going to have those notes that you'll be able to use on your exams later. My exams are open notes, so make sure you take good notes as you go through the lecture videos. And then after you do the material in a particular part, the next step is to go to the competency check. So this is part 3 of module 1, clever naming here, right? Competency check 1, module 1, part 3. And there are going to be 3 questions that I ask you about the videos that you just watched. I would take those immediately after watching those videos. So when you finish part 3, take the competency check for part 3 and then go to part 4. Each module contains a review section where I'll go through and kind of review the topics. And then there's a project that's due. And then there's an exam. Now, hopefully you won't need a makeup exam, but there's an exam for each module. So now let me go back to the syllabus and show you how that fits together. Each module contains the competency checks, and there's several different parts. So there's several different competency checks for each module. Once the due date for that competency check has passed, I post the answer so you can see what you got right, what you got wrong, and why. So I don't accept late competency checks. So the first competency checks are due on, let me figure that out real fast here. The first competency checks are due on September 8th. So September 9th at 12:01 a.m., the answers are going to be posted. So you can't do them late. So work ahead, work early. The computer project is due a couple days before that. And for module 1, let's look at that due date. The project 1 is due on September 4th. This is where you're going to be working with real data. So let me go in here real quick. The project contains a project document as well as a video demonstration showing you how to get the printouts that I'm asking for, and also kind of give you some hints and suggestions and kind of talk you through the project. And you're going to be doing the project. You're going to download the project. You're going to fill in the blanks. You're going to create the printouts, fill in the blanks, answer the questions. Then you're going to save it and submit it to me in Canvas. And I have a little video here showing you how to submit projects in Canvas. It changes from time to time, so I may have to redo this later in the semester. But as of now, I think it still works. And so each module contains a project. And then you're going to turn in the project. This one's due on September 4th. And if I click on a calendar over on my other screen here real fast, September 4th is going to be a Sunday evening. I'll be online that Sunday evening because that's part of my office hours. But we have you do the projects on Sunday so that my teaching assistants and I can grade it and get it back to you by the time your first exam begins. And you're going to take exams sometime during Friday and Saturday. So projects are due on the 4th. We'll grade them to you, get them back to you by the 9th, because the 9th and the 10th is when exam 1 is available. And so each module contains material that has competency checks, a project, and an exam. And then you get to do it again because module 2 shows up, and then module 3, and then module 4, and then you move on to stat 2. So that's the flow of the class. All right, let me come back to the course policy. So competency checks, computer projects. You can turn in a computer project late, but I'm going to take off 10% for each day it's late. So don't be late. No excuses. You have 2.5, 3 weeks to do each of these projects. So I don't care what your excuse is, you get that same 10% deduction as everybody else. And the exam's going to be open book and notes, but you got to complete them alone. Again, I'm not going to use any kind of proctoring software for the first exam. That may change depending on whether I think people are adhering to the rules or not. Here's how I'm going to grade you. Project 1's worth 30 points, Project 2's 20, Project 3's 30, Project 4's 20, so that's 100 points. Exam 1, 2, 3 are 50 points each, and then exam 4 is 80 points. Competency checks add up to 70 points, so total points you can earn for me this semester is 400 points. Get as many as you can, and here is the grading scale for every Stat 1 class we teach at USF. It doesn't matter what campus, what format. If you get a 96.5%, you're going to get an A+. If you get a 66.9, you're going to 66.9. Where's that? That's in here. That's a D+. A D+, this is the worst grade you can get this semester because not only is it a D, but it's a plus. D+, you have to take the class again. Everybody needs a C- or better. Don't count on a curve. I will curve your exam. I won't curve exams. I'll curve your grades at the end of the semester if the average dips below a 75%. I haven't needed a curve in years. Don't expect there to be a curve. I would anticipate your average being somewhere between, the overall average of the class being between 75 and 80%. So don't count on that curve. All right, here's our schedule. Module 1, you can see the due dates. Module 2, 3, and 4. Really, just focus on Module 1. It's available now. You're watching this video. This video is going to be posted on the 22nd, so it's available now. Get to work. Get to work. Come to the office hours. Ask questions. Work ahead. You don't have to take your exam till September 10th. The project's not due until September 4th. Shoot to have everything done by September 1st. That way, if you fall behind, you still got a couple days. You don't lose any points. You don't get zeros for competency checks you fail to do. Work ahead. All right. Homework problems. These are problems I like in the textbook. Why do I like them? Because they ask questions similar to the questions I'm going to be asking you on the competency checks, the projects, and the exams. You have 2 shots at the competency checks. You have 2 attempts. So if you do 1 attempt and you don't get full credit, because you should be getting full credit on the competency checks. If you don't, go and take a look at some of the homework problems that are similar to yours. You're going to notice that some of the homework problems are listed in red. And that's because there's a lot of calculations or things that I don't want you to do. I want the computer to do the calculations for you this semester. And so now let me go back to, let's see, what's the best way of doing this? I guess doing that. Let's go back to the first part, the welcome. Short answers to homework questions. homework printout. So I have opened up both of these. The short answers for every homework problem that's on the syllabus. I've given you the answers for it. So all you have to do is open up the appropriate Word document or just click on it and look inside, and you're going to see the short answers. That's straight from the solutions manual. The homework printouts, the ones that are in red, require a little bit of work. And so let's go into chapter 2. Let me just see if I can peek in this here real quick. So here you see question 217. It's asking for some pie charts and some bar graphs. I don't want you to draw those things. Let's let the computer do that. In question, come on down here. So that's 17, and 23 is a histogram. Another bar graph. Now we have some means and standard deviations in 68, and we have a whole bunch of numerical stuff in what's numbered at 69, and I guess that's it. So let me go back to the syllabus, and you're going to see 17 and 23 and 33 and 68 and 69. Those are the ones that are in red. So when you're doing those homework questions, question 17 might say, create a pie chart and then answer this question, or create a bar graph and answer this question. We're going to let the computer do the math, do the construction of the graphs. I don't want you spending your time doing that. We had to do that 30 years ago when your parents took this class. But now we let the computer do that work for us, and I'm going to ask you to interpret the results. So make sure any of the homework problems you see in red, and there's a bunch in chapter 2, and then as you move on down the class, you can see they mainly become red, right? When we start doing some of the later stuff, let's let the computer do what it does really, really well, and then you answer the questions based on that material. And so the homework answers, the printouts are all available for you. So these are some homework problems that I really, really liked. You don't get credit, you don't turn them in, you don't get points, you practice, you get knowledge. How about that? You get knowledge. Wow, I like saying that right there. Anyway, those are the problems that I like. Here are some university policies that you should be aware of. Let me hit on the ones that I want to touch on. I grades. Something bad's got to happen to get an I. If you get injured or you're going to be missing the rest of the semester, you can talk to me about an I. I'm not allowed to give an I grade if you're failing the class. That's a department policy. Final exams, yours are going to be online. We know that. It's very similar to the other exams. There may be a cumulative part to the final exam. I'll let you know more about that later on. Religious holidays, while they apply, I guess, to life, they're not a biggest deal in this class because you got due dates in September. If there's a religious holiday on a due date, get stuff done ahead of time. So everything's going to be available weeks in advance, so it shouldn't be an issue. Gender-based crime, sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, this is bad stuff. There is some great resources available to you guys at USF. Please, if something in your gut feels says something wrong, someone's treating you incorrectly or inappropriately, get help. Don't ignore that stuff. You have counseling centers, there's victim advocacy groups, that's easy for me to say, student health services, but there's some places that you can reach out to. And if you need help finding any of those places, I'll be glad to help you do that. Attendance, it's an online class. There is no such thing as attendance. Accessibility, if you need any kind of accessibility issues, or if you have any kind of accessibility issues, USF has a great department that helps with students that have any kind of accommodation needs, and meet with them. There's a form that you have to send me, an accommodation letter, and they're great to work with. I would just encourage you to reach out sooner as opposed to later, because things don't happen very quickly. We're a really big university, and if there's an exam on Friday and you wait till Thursday to start the paperwork, it ain't going to apply to you. So start sooner as opposed to later. I talked about the proctoring stuff. I think that's about it. All right, so that's the syllabus. If you have questions, discussion board would be a great place to post any of that. But what I want to do, let me get out of here. Let's go up here. Let's talk about what I want you to do next. Okay, so I'm honing in on about 19 minutes now in this video. I was hoping to keep it under 25. Let's see how we do. I want you to go to the syllabus enrollment check. This is to tell me that you understand about some of the key ideas in the syllabus, but the main reason you're doing this, and look at that date there, noon on the 25th. That is Thursday. That is Thursday at noon. Well, the last question on this is going to say, hey, I want to stay in the class. Please do not drop me. This is how I know that you are going to stay in the class. At 12:01 p.m. on Thursday, I'm going to go through there and see who has not filled this out, and I'm going to drop you from this class. And why that's really bad is because this class is filled and I am receiving tons of emails of students trying to get in it. So there are people begging to take your spot right now. So please, after watching this video, immediately after watching this video, go and take that enrollment check to let me know you want to stay in the class. And that's a real important one to do. This next one, so do that. So you watch the syllabus video, you understand what's expected of you, take the syllabus enrollment check quiz, then take the project data introduction quiz. That's up here. Go through there and take a look at the data that you're required to work with this semester, and then take this quiz. This won't drop you from the class, but there's 2 points attached to it. 2 points out of 400 doesn't seem like a lot, but if you keep giving away 2 points, next thing you know, you're taking the class again next semester. So go there. Then, if you'd like to look at some of this stuff, you're more than welcome to, but then I would start part 1. Start the material. Now, today. Right? Why not? You got until September 10th. It's easy to put it off. It's better to get it started. There's a certain percentage of you guys that are going to just do really, really well in this class because that's how you're wired. That's how your brain's wired. That's how my brain's wired. Sure, you have trouble with friends and getting dates and people, but you're really good with numbers and working material. The rest of you guys are going to have to work at it a little bit. And I like to say some of you will have to work at it a lot of bit. And it's best for you, and that's going to be the vast majority of you, by the way, that's best for you if you work early. That way you get your questions answered. So I'm going to encourage you to get started right away. And then do competency check. Each week I'm going to be sending out a little email saying this is where you should be. I'm going to try to pace you. And what I use to pace you is where I'm at with my live classes. I teach this class in Tampa. I have 3 sections this semester. And so I'll let you know what we're doing, because the due dates and those things line up pretty nicely between the live class and the online class. So I'll give you a sense of what you need, where you need to be at. If you want to work ahead, that's going to be beneficial to you. My live students don't get that opportunity. You guys do. Take advantage of that. And so that's something that'll come out each week. And then I will be checking discussion boards. If you get questions, go ahead and check discussion boards. And you can see I have some live support for me as well. But that's what's going to happen this semester. So you're going to get through the first module, and then we get to do it again and again and again. So rinse and repeat. Module 1 tends to be the easiest material of the semester, so get as much of the points as you can in Module 1. Module 3 is the longest module of the semester, but I would say the difficulty level really ramps up here in Module 2. So when we start talking about binomials and normal distributions, that's when things get a little bit more challenging. Sampling distributions, but that's something to look forward to down the way. And I guess that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else I needed to talk to you about. Let me check my checklist here. No. So get started. You have the ability to get working right away. One of the things I'll encourage you to do, I'll end with this. The project for Module 1 is already posted. It's probably a good idea to open that up, print that out, and as you're working through the different pieces, as the different parts of the module, start answering those questions. And those are great things you can ask the teaching assistants or me about. So work as you're going through the different parts, work the questions on the project. And that email I'll send you saying, hey, after this week in week 1, you should be through, part 1, part 2. I'll also tell you, you can answer questions 1, 2, A, and B on project 1. And so kind of take a look at that and keep a good pace, and things should go pretty well. When you have questions, it's material questions, discussion boards, online office hours. If there's anything else you need, feel free to reach out. There is a live person. I'm not just a voice, I promise you. So reach out when you need to, and have a great semester. I'll talk to you later.